morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who have joined and given us their time from their busy schedule in mid of the week. So thanks again for making a time for us. We'll try to make it as useful as we can for you. Um, I'll start with a short introduction. Can we get the slides in back? I'll start with the introduction. I'm sure a lot of you might already know Akshata. She is a lead developer advocate at Salesforce, and she have co-authored a book titled MuleSoft for Salesforce developers. So you know we have an expertise in the house, right? And not only that, she is also an AI researcher at ADOS, which says a lot about her involvement and day-to-day interest in the AI, and she is a known global speaker at number of events, from Dreamforce to Salesforce TDX to Salesforce communities, DevOps API days, and more. A lot of talking she does, which you can definitely find out on LinkedIn. And if you definitely want to know more about Akshata, I will request you to go and follow her on LinkedIn and see what all she is doing. Uh, Thanks, Akshita, for joining us. And quick introduction about myself. I'm a delivery director at Bugandai Tech. So my day-to-day focus isn't just about keeping projects on time or on budget. We also talk about technology that translates into real frictionless business values. And in today's landscape, AI is no longer a clever chatbot. Everyone has started using it. Everyone has started using it as a co-worker, as a partner, or as an agent. So everyone is well aware of what AI can do or cannot do. And then that brings us exactly to why we are here today, because Salesforce has launched Headless 360 in arguably the biggest architectural shift we have seen in decades. Because in one of the posts we saw that we are going out of browser to API, and because also it leans entirely into an agentic world, API first reality. You know, it turns your entire customer 360 ecosystem into infrastructure that both humans and AI agent can execute seamlessly. And we have been hearing MCP and API, MCP protocols and APIs and how we can do, but Headless 360 is a way where we can connect to Salesforce and do lots and lot of things. And then it's also important because enterprises want to become more agentic nowadays. 88% of IT leaders feels that they can't really meet AI demand safely, or they struggle in that, and they find a real gap between what AI can promise and do. But that's where the gap is what we want to fill with Headless 360. We want to make sure that uh, you're not switching between the systems, you're staying in one and then focusing on your business. So with that, I won't take too much of your time. That was just an introduction in setting up the context of this webinar so that everyone is aware what they're going to do. During the course, if you have anything to talk or say, just put into the comments. We'll try to address towards the end, and we'll try to gather as answer as much we can. And then if not, we'll definitely circle back. Over to you, Akshata, to take us through a journey on the Headless 360.
Thank you so much, Piyush. That was a very humbling introduction. And thanks again for inviting me here. Excited to be here. This is my first time. And yes, I'm sure there is a lot of curiosity around headless and everything that's going around. We'll definitely get into that. But before getting started, a forward looking statement over here which states that we are covering a lot of things in the slide, a lot of forward-looking statements, a lot of roadmap, a lot of new products, capabilities that are coming in. So make sure you make your purchasing decisions based on the products that are available today in the market. And with that, we'll get started. Before diving right in, I mean, since Headless was announced at TDX, there have been a lot of questions, a lot of information that I've been getting. People have been saying that is Salesforce killing the UI, or do we not have to log in into Salesforce again, or how is it going to work? What exactly is Headless 360? So there's definitely a lot going on around in that area. and I would love to learn from you guys as well. What's your perspective of headless? When you think about headless 360, what is that you think of? What if you have already read about it? If you already know about it, what do you think of it from a developer perspective or an architect or an admin perspective? How do you think it will help you? So let us know in the comments what are your thoughts, what are your initial thoughts. And yes, I'll be definitely diving into all the aspects, everything that we are covering. So in today's session, it's going to be more of a theoretical, informational session, I would say, where we do not have any demo as such, but I'll be covering through all the aspects, all the products capabilities that are available with Headless Suite, Headless 360, and what exactly is Headless? Why do we need it? Why do we think is the need of the hour? So let's unwrap Headless, I would say, and let's get through everything. Okay. So, starting with, we have been all doing a lot of things with AIs, irrespective of your domain, irrespective of your, if you're a developer, admin, or an architect, all of us, we have been building something with AI, doing something new, trying to innovate, trying to make our lives easier. And yes, it's sometimes overwhelming as well. So right now there is an extreme demand from everyone, from top, our managers, our seniors. They want us to dive straight away into the agentic transformation. They want something to be built yesterday, not today. And not just that, developers like us, like we love vibe coding, and we have been exploring all the tools that are available in the market. You just name it. The day it's available, the day it's GA, or they announce it, we have to get our hands on. So weekends are all about exploring and getting started with it, right? And it's not just that, the way we build things have actually changed fundamentally. Initially we would write things, a sprint would be longer, and now with all the AI tools that are coming in, a sprint size, we have been shipping faster, so a sprint has actually reduced. We have been shipping faster, we are using coding assistant, leveraging them to make the most of it. And but with all of these things, there's actually no governance policy. We have been using a lot of AI tools, but the framework is kind of missing, the governance policy, the AI policy. So we, in order to move from a legacy system, the legacy way we are building things, to an agentic way, we needed a systematic approach. We needed an approach to speed up things. And there is definitely a new way that is coming into the picture, like how we are going to do these things. uh, so let's dive into all of them. So what, with, even before moving into headless, let's take a step back and see what exactly are we expecting. And this is for each and every persona, right from developers to architects to admins. So for our developers, we want to focus on building faster, getting, not doing the plumbing activities. We want, instead of writing the same code, repeating again and again time, or giving the same set of instructions to every AI agent. So every time I open a new cursor window, I do not want to give the same instructions to cursor that, hey, build me this things with this format, this set, or this type of instructions. Or with architects, easily plug and play information, so that everything, all your APIs, all the MCP servers and everything that has been built, you should be able to plug in into different systems. So we want to give each and every persona the freedom and the choice. Because with AI, there is a new tool that is coming into the market almost on weekly basis, I would say, if not daily. And it's really important that we build once and plug it anywhere. So we build one and deploy anywhere. Or the developers have the liberty to choose between the coding tools they want or the coding assistants they want, right? And all of this is what brings us to Headless 360. So Headless 360 is where the humans and agents will be working together. And in our first wave, we have released a lot of APIs, we have released a lot of MCP tools, we have released a lot of skills. So there are around 30 plus skills. We'll definitely dive into all of that detail. But in context, Headless is one platform. Okay, Headless 360 is one platform that will give you the liberty to work, the humans the liberty to work with agents. So traditionally, if I go back 3 years or 4 years, I would say the same thing. Since I'm coming from a MuleSoft background, or I have an integration background with me, I would usually use the same narrative with APIs, that hey, APIs are the one that connects you with connects your system, so your systems are no longer in silos. But with AI agents coming into the picture, the narrative changes. And what we did with APIs, we are doing the same thing now with MCPs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but APIs will still be there. They're going to just be more powerful, right? So this
True.
allows, yes,
I echo that, Akshata. API will still be there but with MCP, I think it will be more connected with multiple tools and things that are coming every day in market. So yes, definitely.
yeah, absolutely. So that's all Headless 360 is about. And what I'm going to throw with you in the future slides, there are going to be a lot of products, a lot of information, a lot of capabilities. But one thing I would want you to, I mean, as a caveat would be, please don't feel overwhelmed. I mean, even I haven't explored all of the tools, so it's completely okay. We still have some time, and most of them aren't at GA as well. So we are exploring, we are still building, and we are all learning. But this session, utilize it as something like maybe as a introductory session, that okay, this is all that's coming. Maybe prepare yourself mentally for everything that's coming, so you're up to date with the roadmap on everything that's coming in. Okay. So moving ahead, what we have, what Headless actually wants us, what Headless is actually giving. So from developers perspective, what you see on the build side, it wants you to have the freedom of environment. So basically, if you're someone is quite used to working with cursor, or someone else is working on your team is used to working on cloud, they should have the liberty to work with the preferred tools without restricting them to one particular tool. So everyone gets to build in their comfortable IDEs or their comfortable coding assistants. On the right hand side, what you see on the run segment, so this is for business users. So the conversations, they could happen on Teams, they could happen on Slack, or they could happen somewhere else. Okay, so we are not restricting you to one platform. It could be anywhere that your agents and you are having an interaction. So with Headless 360, what the main whole logic or the entire perspective of this is that to give you more liberty as a developer to choose your coding assistant tool, your platform. And the same thing for business users. We are giving you the liberty to choose your user interface or the UI, the business users, where you want to have your interactions with agents. Is it Microsoft Teams? Is it ChatGPT? Is it Gemini? Is it Slack or where? With that being said, this gives you an overall stack of how the headless 360 looks like, an architectural diagram. And I'm sure if you have visited TDX slides or any world tours in the last couple of months, you must have seen all of this information. And definitely all the resources are also available publicly, but I just want to simplify everything that's been thrown at you in this session. So, what we would like to do is we would like to just break down this entire architecture, just simplify it into four layers. So, the first one would be the system of engagement. So, where you want your users to interact, whether it's Slack, it's Team, it's Gemini, it's ChatGPT, your user interaction basically. And then this next level comes, which is Agentforce, which is main brain. The system of agency is what we call it. So Agentforce is the main brain which performs tasks, which operates everything, which will process your logic, which will give you which will give you the output, the result, the processing, which will be doing the hard work, the heavy lifting. And then the next steps, we have the system of work, which could be more like, so if you're calling agent force as the brain, the system of work, which is the customer 360, where all your data resides, the data, metadata, your customer informations, your all the information about your customer profiles. This is where the muscles, which is kind of a business layer. Okay. And the next one would be the system of context, the data 360 layer, which has all your data, your information, which is going to provide, which is more like a memory. So if you consider all this three layer, this is all is coming together, and which is going to give you a headless 360 experience. But the most important of all, this is all grounded by trust layer, guarded by trust layer. So if you see in the bottom, we have the AI trust layer, which is going to do a work, which is going to make sure that the data which is leaving the Salesforce system. I mean, usually we get these questions a lot, that how is this information processed, or how is this information retained, or How will I ensure that my data is not publicly available, or if this AI models are not using my customer information to train their model? So for that, that's the main reason you have the AI trust layer, which will ensure that your data is protected, it is governed, and it's guarded, and it's not leaving the system. We'll also talk about the different tools, the different processes, the PII masking, data masking thing, and everything that's available with the AI trust layer. Moving ahead, so again, please don't be overwhelmed. There's a lot of information, I know, and this is all the one that we talked about in the previous slide. The four stages: system of engagements, which is at the top, then the system of record, system of context, and then yes, the last one, the system of work. So all of this you can see over here, like what are the different tools that are available. So with Headless 360, our main aim is to make sure that Salesforce is accessible to anyone and everywhere, anyone and everywhere, basically. So traditionally, what has been like, why was this Headless 360 required? Because previously we humans, we were working on Salesforce system, we were logging into Salesforce system, we were making changes to our record, we were updating queries or doing our transactions. But now with AI agentic era, it's not just humans, even agents are accessing a system. So even agents, for them, they won't be able to log in into your system, but for them to make your systems or your Salesforce accessible, we needed Headless 360. And that's the reason it is called as it's no longer called as a walled thing or something that is just on the platform. The platform is now not gated, and it's available for all the agents, for everyone to access, with the help of MCPs, with the help of APIs, with the help of different tools, and with the help of different fragments and components. And we have made it in such a way that it can be accessed from Apex classes, from your SQL queries, from your API calls, from your CLIs. And irrespective of the tools that you want to use, you can invoke it from your cursor, you can invoke it from Claude or any of your IDE that you want. I hope I'm clear until now. If you have any queries, please do let us know in the comments while we are moving ahead. Okay. And yes, towards the end, or I think not towards the end, after this webinar, we'll be also sharing all the resources with you all around Headless 360 that you can go ahead and take a look at. Okay. Moving ahead. So before we dive into the different the roadmap of what tools are available with Headless 360, let's again repeat or maybe just revise what we have just said. Okay, why was it required? Why is Headless 360 required? So that's basically based on the three frames that only to give you a freedom of building any coding agents of your choice, to give you a freedom of choosing your own language. It's not just Apex classes or the Lightning components that you are building with a particular type. You can now extend it with React and so basically the freedom of language, freedom of tooling agents, and without you having to worry about building in the security while working around with agents. So the freedom of distribution. And with this freedom, this is basically explains us the why, that why Headless 360 was required. Okay. Moving ahead, now I'll go in through multiple, I would say yes, multiple tools that are available, or what all is currently available for you to get started, and what is exactly Headless 360. Okay. So all of us know we are already working with multiple. The first aspect is like building with any coding agent. So we have been already building our personal projects or maybe our side projects, side ventures with Cursor, Claude, or whichever IDE you have got a subscription for, right? So, and we have also explored Agentforce Vibe. We have been building with Agentforce Vibe as well. So the strategy here is really simple. So we does not Salesforce does not want the way to change the way you've been building things. We just want you to help you speed up the developments, accelerate the speed of development. And this headless nature of platform with that will actually allow you to get started and speed up your development. So we have a lot of skills available, skill sets, skills that are available. We have MCP tools that are available, and these are generally available now, and you can get them directly in your Claude, in your Cursor, or in your preferred IDE, and you can get started. I'm sorry about the lights here. Okay. So, and for that, you do not require any middleware or anything. You do not have to build anything from scratch. You do not have to inform. So, for example, if you are building with Cursor or Claude, you do not have to give it an entire context about what exactly Salesforce is or what exactly it is doing or the latest stuff that's happening in there. You can use skills, you can use MCP servers for that. Okay. So basically, it means that a developer can sit inside Cloud Code and ask it to build a new optimization stuff for your Salesforce org by giving it access to your Salesforce org, and everything will be done in a secured manner with the trust layer. Moving ahead, the next would be deploying on any surface. So once that we have seen how do we build it, you can build it on any surface. Similarly, once you have built the fragments, you can also deploy them on any surfaces. And we'll talk about this in the agentic, the headless experience layer as well, what exactly that means. So suppose if you're building a tool or maybe a fragment, a lightning type, and you want to take this, and this is something you're building for Agentforce, but you want to take this ahead with different coding assistants, different tools, then you can take that component and get it to a different component as well. Okay. And yes, this one explains us the protect with built-in governance. So something that we have spoken about before of how AI trust layer is there for you. So you do not have to build anything, any protecting layer for your data, or you do not have to worry about how do I keep my data safe from leaking into public LLM, or how do I ensure that my information is not being used for PII masking stuff, right? So what's happening here is you can see there is a Salesforce app, and even before your prompt if leaves your system, your Salesforce org, it's going to make sure that your metadata is your all the information is grounded. It has got the context which is relevant, which is not a vague information. It is pertaining to your profile or pertaining to your records or information that's available in your Salesforce org. And then it's going to perform the dynamic grounding, metadata grounding, which is going to make sure that it's going to give you an accurate result. And again, there is going to be data masking. So that all the PII information and secure information, for example, it could be credit card number and bank account information. So all this information will be masked and they won't be sent outside to the other models. And similarly, while getting the information back, we are ensuring that there is a zero retention. So once you have got the response back, the LLM or the models, they forget your information. So there won't be anything that's retained. And further, on your way back, when you're getting the information back, there will be a toxicity matrix. There will be a full audit trail that will be available for you, right? So you can see what you get, what you asked for, and there won't be any vague answers. So the main aspect here is the governance. Usually that's the main thing when you're working with a customer information or a customer data, that you are always worried about your data being leaked or if your data is going to be used by the LLMs for training purposes or anything else, and which is quite valid. And that's the reason to be for you to be assured there is this AI trust layer which protects your information, which guards your information. So there is no data retention, the data isn't masked, and the data is basically it's not leaving your org, it's not leaving your system. Okay. Moving ahead, again, sorry, but there is a lot of information that we have here. And again, it's the same thing that we have been providing you a lot of a lot of tools, which are MCP tools. There are already 30 plus agentic skills that have been listed. They are publicly available. You can find them on GitHub. And the MCP tools, which are out of the box, are available for you to get started and build stuff instantly. Okay. So the bottom line here is headless standardizes the way you're working with Salesforce. So basically, the way your Salesforce is working with different systems. So you're building component once anywhere, whichever your coding assistant is, you deploying on a coding assistance that you're comfortable with, and then you're taking it to different systems. For example, with lightning types as well, you can build it at once. Basically, this also brings in the multi framework platform for you. to have a freedom, liberty to build stuff. Okay. So for which you will be also using different tools. We already have been experimenting. We have been working around with Agentforce Vibe, Slackbot internally as well. So to be honest, for almost all the daily activities, I have been addicted to Slackbot, and I'm not even lying. So there was a day when Slackbot was down, and I was like, okay, how it's gonna be, because Slackbot actually has information about everything. It's connected with my cloud, it's connected with my Google Drive, it's connected with my emails. It organizes everything for me. It gives me information about everything. It's almost like my personal assistant doing the stuff for me. So, and the same with Agentforce Vibe with Cloud Core, where you can or Cursor. So I am definitely addicted to it. I would love to know about your experience as well, how you guys have been leveraging all these tools for your productivity. And moving ahead, let's learn more about Headless 360. So here are some websites which has more information. So if you want to take a screenshot or a photo, and if you want to learn more about this, what exactly is headless experience layer? This is something that's coming in, but I think yeah, this is coming in, but they already have an interactive playground. I can actually give you a brief idea about what it is. Uh, but yes, headless experience layer is more like you are building a lightning type. So traditionally, the way we have been interacting with agents is via a question and answer. We have been asking, okay, how's the weather, agent force, and it will give you a response. But if you want to have the fancy UI component, the grids or the widgets basically, which will have form or which could have a survey kind of thing with agents. So if you want to build this lightning types, you can build them. Okay, and once you build them at one place, maybe for agent force, you can take them ahead um, with different tools of your choice. It could be Slack, it could be ChatGPT or anywhere else. So basically it's like build once and deploy anywhere else. Then there is Salesforce multi-framework, which again allows you to work with different um, tooling assistants and which different languages as well. We already have heard about React with Agentforce Vibe, how you can build React components and fancy UIs or fancy website using React, which was previously not available. Okay. Then there is a lot of information about Agentforce in total as such demo videos. There are a lot of recent blogs. We are also hosting, the next would be Agentforce Now Headless Workshop, a hands-on workshop, which is coming up next. You can check about that on the Agentforce Now page as well. So if you go and just check Agentforce Now workshop, you'll get all the information about it over here. Let me just take. Okay. So there is information available over here on developer side if you go on the homepage. I know I'm deviating from the current content, but I think it's useful for you to be up to date on what information is coming up. Okay, there is a lot of blog, there are documentation. We are coming up with blogs as well. And keep an eye on the Headless 360 workshop that's coming up. We're doing it for the first time, and everything, the entire new workshop that's coming in, it's all been revamped, all the information, the blog content, okay, for you to explore further. The next thing, going back to slides. Okay, yeah, is around, let me go back to slides. Yes, over here. So yeah, headless extends further with an open ecosystem. So what we have is like there are a lot of resources that are already available. There are a lot of connectivity that's already available. There are customers and partners who are involved, who are experimenting, working with this. And it basically, the whole purpose of it is to give you freedom, give you flexibility. So you can leverage the best of all the worlds. You can work in an environment where you're comfortable with the tools you're comfortable with, most importantly. Okay. And yes, you can scale everything. So if you have heard about the agent development life cycle, so previously we would deal a lot with software development life cycle, but now it has changed more over to, yes, software development life cycle exists, but when you're building an agent, we also have the agent development life cycle. And if you see, headless is merely not just a concept, it covers a whole lot of it's an umbrella, I would say, which covers different tools which are in different. So if you see for build, right? Starting from the design phase, if you go into build phase, so you have Agentforce Vibe 2.0, which is coming up, headless experience layer, which you can expect around Dreamforce time. There is multi-framework. There are pre-configured skills that are available. There are 60 plus MCP tools that are available. Then in each and every phase, you have a lot of tools or information that's available that you can make the most of, right? And yeah, build with any coding assistance. So let's dive into all of these tools that are available by Headless 360. The first one and my favorite one would be Agentforce Vibe. The Agentforce Vibe 2.0 is also coming in. But what's new with currently the Agentforce Vibe is, if you can see on the screen as well, so it has this React component. This is something that you have not seen. So already the 30 plus skills, the MCP tools are available for you to get started to speed up the developments. You can also create new, you can add in the new hooks. You have React app which you can build, okay? And you can actually have your own skills developed as well. You can have them in your preferred IDE. So there is a lot of things, a lot of changes that are going on, and I would recommend you to try out Agentforce Vibe from your platform. And yes, it can there can be a whole different session only around Agentforce Vibe and what's coming in new. So my recommendation would be keep an eye on the Agentforce Vibe 2.0, what all it has to offer for you. Okay. Moving ahead with that comes the multi framework network. So you can build in AI agents, you can build in the fancy app, the industry grade app. So while we're talking about vibe coding, we also talk about enterprise vibe coding, because we do not want to build an app or anything that's only for a hobby or personal thing. We want to take the vibe coding experience to an enterprise level, right? And that's the reason we can build Salesforce multi-framework app, which is like build with any UI framework. At the moment we are supporting React. Hopefully in future we'll be having more languages to support, but yes, it's React. And it's one of the fastest and the growing languages, I would say, that developers would love to work on to give you a industry grade or an enterprise grade experience, right? So it will be GA soon, but there is a lot of information, AMAs and all, that are available on the multi-framework apps. Okay. Moving ahead is the headless experience layer, the one that we just spoke about. So where you can build the lightning types and you can further take it ahead on different screens. So if you see multiple logos over here, this is Slack, this one is Teams, there is Gemini, Claude. So this kind of confirmation. So suppose if you want to build a widget which will give you a car rental confirmation, how do you share it? And so this is something fancy, but this is the response that you're getting from Agent. So you're building this once, maybe for one particular platform, and you can copy the same code into different environment, different UI of your choice. So that's what it says: build once and then deploy anywhere else. Okay. Moving ahead again with a new tool, and there are a lot of tools that are coming in, and this is something Agentforce Lab, it's already available. So I have also opened this one for you. You can go to the website, just searching for Salesforce Agentforce Lab, and you can start building agents. So basically, no fuss. It will just help you to build your prototype faster, sooner, and get started with it, right? So if you are someone who does not want to log in into IDE, just get started and see what exactly it is. You can go ahead and start building your agent. You can describe what type of agent you want. You're not even logging into the system. This is more of an experimental thing for you to get started faster with Agentforce. I know I'm dumping a lot of information on you. I hope that's not overwhelming at the moment. But yes, this is something that's publicly available as well. So you can always go back and refer the resources. Okay, the next is ADLC. We already spoke about agent development lifecycle. And this concept is not something brought by Salesforce, it is universal. So you can manage your agent development lifecycle similar to the software development lifecycle. And for you to get started, not relying on one particular platform, but you can build your agents, you can deploy them, you can test them from anywhere. For that, we have the ADLC skills that are available. You can test it from your IDE you're comfortable with. without having you to log in into Salesforce and doing it. You can build agents at your comfort from your IDE. That's the whole purpose here. Okay. And then the platform hosted MCP server, if you have recently logged in, and you can see, which is already GA, so you can expose, you can manage your own MCP servers. Okay, you do not require any middleware or anything else. You can have your own MCP servers configured and activated to expose your Salesforce APIs, metadata, and all the information. Okay, and yep. Now moving ahead, what's next is, yes, there is a whole different set of MCP server for different tools, different cross cloud as it says, which I'm just going through skim through. Okay, we have a lot of information that's coming in through. We'll just go through what Slack has to offer. So every tool has their own MCP server that you can make the most of. As of now, I've just explored the Slack MCP server, but as per your use case business requirement, you can make sure you're using, you can give it a try to all the other MCP servers. So we have few MCP servers coming in through, starting with the first one in Slack. So as you can see, you can connect your AI ecosystem, whichever it is, Drive. So I've already connected my Cloud, my Google Drive, and everything on Slack, which makes it more easier for me to work with different tools that I have. Okay. And you can do the same. You can connect your different AI apps directly into Slack. You can manage conversation, you can manage your files, canvases, and do things faster and better. Next is coming up from Tableau. Tableau has its own MCP server for you to get started, to analyze any agents, to make your development faster. Okay. The next one is coming from Informatica. And similarly, you would expect one from Data 360 as well. We are not going into details of all this because this is a whole different area or different topic that's available for you to explore. Okay. And the next is from MuleSoft, which has to offer MCP server, Bridge, which I haven't tried it as of now, but I would do it pretty soon. But if you have tried any of this MCP server, please let me know in the comments, or what your experience has been with MCP servers as of now. And this is overall the headless in practice. So we have different industries and how headless supports different industry, whether it's telecom, media, manufacturing, financial services, or healthcare. How you're bringing in different portal, the experience layer to different relationship and relationships into with headless. So, and this is basically the areas where you can take your headless as well. You can explore more use cases around them. If you are navigating on the Salesforce platform documentation, you will come across them as well. And with that, thank you. And we do have some time. Thank you so much for attending. So I haven't shared the Q&A in this session, but we will be getting a mail after this session where you'll get all the resources. Sorry, I did not share the resources with you all, but you'll get a mail where within that text team will share all the resources with you. Okay. And yeah, if you want the resources right away, the best place would be Salesforce developers channel. Okay, where you can find all the information on the developer portal. You can get your developer blogs, you can get information about all the new stuff that's happening in around. Okay, yes, you'll find everything over here. The Agentforce workshops that are coming in. So these are the hands-on workshop as per your times. And if you see, they are pretty new, the webinars, the workshops, and everything that's coming in here. So this will be your go-to place. Uh, Sorry, the light has gone off again. This will be a go-to place for you to get started and get started with development, basically learn more about Agentforce. And with that, I would like to get back to my slides. Hey Piyush, we're almost done. Sorry, the lights.
No worries.
I
And
hope that,
thanks.
yes, I got
Yeah,
a lot of questions as well, which was kind of expected. Um, yeah, I think it will take some time for us to go through the question, but if you want, you can we can reply to
I
them in the chat.
I tried to reply as many as I can during your session. and they were quite interesting, few of them, and engaging as well at the same time. So I have
And
tried to do all those answers while so I think I've answered most of them. If there's definitely anything else that we can answer, definitely put it into the comments. I'll try to respond, or we can try to respond. So I think Aksha, one critical question that came up was obviously for trust, using ancient trust layer, that when you're connecting Claude with Salesforce MCP, um, two question was how the trust thing works. Obviously, we can say Einstein trust layer, but when it is in Salesforce, it could. But when it's outside, and through Claude, you are calling all these, things using MCP, how those data retentions or JDR is maintained. So I've responded, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Is definitely one thing is with this all MCP, it is a stateless thing. So it does your actual data doesn't go pass and happens. And second one is uh, Salesforce has signed a legal contract for zero data retention policy with all these bigger OpenAI
yeah,
and Claude, which restricts them to train their model with the Salesforce data rather than just use it for processing and things. So I think these with these two Einstein test layer and with these legal thing in place, most of those fears should go while using headless with his cloud and cursor. So I think that was an interesting um,
yeah.
thing that came out
I
of the
think we have
discussion. And
been, yeah, we have been hearing the same feedback as well. And I think a lot of questions after the session. Maybe I'll go through all the Q&A. And if there is anything product feedback for product managers, we'll pass it over to them. If there is something that I think I'll respond to, I'll get back to them as well. Meanwhile, if you have more queries, feel free to DM us or message us on LinkedIn or something, and we can help you out. Maybe it might take some longer time, but yeah, we'll get back to you. And
yes, yes.
yeah, I think it's interesting. There's so much things that even I have to try it out and get out
Yeah.
all the information.
I
But
was trying Agentforce 5 and I saw that three servers you get by default, which is DX and the tooling. And then I
the
tried and it
tooling,
was a bit powerful. And I was able to do a lot more with this. So, yeah, eager to try it with Cloud or Cursor and see where does it take. So, yeah,
awesome. Thank you. This was definitely interesting, and love to see all the enthusiasm. Everyone's community is interested basically in headless getting started,
true.
and hopefully the developer advocacy we at Salesforce will try to get more information for you guys, more resources in terms of blogs, video content. So developer blog would be the main site where you can go ahead, check your resources, build stuff. And thank you again for watching. Stay tuned for more information. We'll share in the resources as well after this stream. We'll pass it over to you guys.
Yeah, thanks you so much, Akshata, for joining us here and giving us an insights on Headlet 360. It was a lot informational for me as well with all the tools and skill, which definitely have to go back and then maybe I have to see this video again and then try to grasp one thing at a time. And definitely for I know whoever is watching, they will definitely need to go and just absorb all the information and then try
Mhm.
things out to get better understanding. But yeah, but anyways, thank you so much for your time and giving and telling everyone more
Yeah.
about Headless 360.
Thank you. Thanks, team. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks, bye.